Hey guys, today I wanted to cover something different, not so much VGC, but just like a triple Battle Mason team that my friend Randy Qua piloted to amazing success. He had a consecutive 1,850 wins in the Battle Mason. Now, I'm sure if any of you have ever tried the Battle Mason, you know that they will do whatever they can to hax you out and make you lose. But I guess, this guy kind of just broke the system. He did end up losing at 108, 1,851, but before that, he just destroyed them. So, this is a team by Randy Qua. Like I said, it was originally published in an article on Nugget Bridge, nuggetbridge.com. Check them out. They got great VGC stuff. Cool articles sometimes. I just wanted to cover the bread and butter in case you guys wanted to try this yourself, because I think I will be doing it too. So guys, the team, very simple. It is triples, so those three are in order in the top. GRENINJA left, level 1 ARON center, GARCHOMP right, and then he had a TYRANITAR, GYARADOS, and AEGISLASH in the back. So just want a visual representation. And what we're going to do is I'm going to go through each one individually, and it's going to tell you what he does and what you're supposed to do with him. So GRENINJA, he does lead on the left. He's Life Orb, Protean, max special attack, max speed. His nature's hasty, but that's just because Randy was lazy, so he didn't fix it. Timid would be better. Surf, Ice Beam, Grass Knot, Map Block. Pretty good coverage there, with Map Block being really essential to this team, and you'll see why in a second. GRENINJA is meant to open the battle with the Map Block, and even though he's on the left, Map Block covers the entire party, which is something I didn't know, so that's really big. He goes Map Blocks and then just starts straight up attacking. And between Life Orb and Protean, most opponents will get one-shotted by GRENINJA. So you have a really strong thing on the left that allows your team to set up on the first turn. ARON, it is level 1. It leads in the center, and he's holding Berry Juice. Now, before I'm going to address this right now, a lot of people will ask, why not Shell Bell? It could make you last a lot longer. Berry Juice is more consistent, and that's a direct quote from Randy himself. Just don't want to mess around with any kind of chance of not hitting off and getting up the health. So Berry Juice is just there to make sure that you get up your quote unquote second life, because if Sturdy goes up. So it does have Sturdy, means it can't be one shot from full health. When you're at level 1, that's only like 12 HP, but who cares? Its EVs are champions, don't need to train, they just need to win. Rash nature pretty much doesn't matter. The moveset is some good stuff. Endeavor, Protect, Toxic, and Sleep Talk. So since the Battle Mason doesn't scale up to level 50, that allows the strategy to work. And the strategy is largely revolved around this ARON. So he can be KO'd by any non-poison damaging move, which triggers the AI to go straight for the KO almost every single time. The way the Battle Mason opponents work, if they see that they can KO you, most of the time they won't try to set up and they will just straight go for the attack. Therefore, they usually don't set up themselves. And between Sturdy, Berry Juice, Map Block, and Protect, you have like 3 to 4 turns of the opponent trying to knock out an ARON, focusing on your ARON and it not really mattering to yourself. Because you can, first of all, take 3 hits, and second of all, Protect and Map Block, and you're just trying to draw in their fire. He has Toxic, he carries it for ghost types, and he had Sleep Talk, but it never got used. So, it is what it is. Mostly you're just going to be there to Endeavor, Protect, and Toxic if it's a ghost. On the right, you have a Garchomp holding a Focus Sash. It is Sandvale. Not that I can see that, he did have TYRANITAR, so, for the evasion hacks, maybe. The EVs are pretty interesting. It's almost just a straight up, max attack, max speed. But he does only have 244 in attack, 4 defense, 4 special defense. I don't know the particular reason for that. So I would, if I were you, I could just not worry and run the 252, 252 spread. That'll probably be fine. Jolly Nature, you really want the speed in the Battle Mason. He's carrying Earthquake, Dragon Claw, Swords Dance, and Protect. So between Map Block and the ARON distraction, it almost always gets up a Swords Dance. So first turn Map Block, ARON can Endeavor. You can set up a Swords Dance, and you're already in a massively offensive, position. And in situations where the entire field is wiped out, the AI will always send out their Pokemon on the right. So they'll always send it out facing your Garchomp, which should be +2 after the first turn. So basically, Map Block goes up, Endeavor comes out, Swords Dance goes up, and it's just going to be a bad day. In the back, TYRANITAR, Choice Scarf. So Sandstream there for the Garchomp. He's running Jolly Nature. But once again, speed's really important in the Battle Mason, because if you get outsped, that's when you start having, a bad time. You start getting haxed. Rock Slide, Crunch, Earthquake, Iron Tail. So his job really is to change the weather from hail so that Aron doesn't fall down and you don't lose your sash on Chomp. It also threatens things that set up hail pretty well, such as Abomasnow, any other ice type. And you get that special defense boost, which makes T-Tar a pretty decent switch in by, just the sheer fact that it sets up the sand. Direct quote, no, don't use Iron Tail ever. So yeah, that was just, I guess, filler. He never used it. Just don't ever use it. Another back Pokemon, Gyarados, Choice Banded, Intimidate support, Adamant Nature. So this one's really trying to hit hard. Waterfall, Earthquake, Stone Edge, Return. So it's immune to Garchomp's Earthquake and Greninja's Surf. Not immune to the Surf, but doesn't take a lot of damage from it. So it's a solid switch in for Aron in case Aron's facing a few different scenarios that it's not favorable in. So it's a great one to just switch into the middle spot. And you have Return there for water and grass types. So you have pretty good coverage all around. And then you have AEGISLASH, which has got Spell Tag and, typical stance change ability, Brave Nature, Iron Head, Shadow Sneak. Priority is its only priority on his whole team. So that's actually really, really helpful in certain situations where your opponent's getting Quick Claw activation on every turn. Sacred Sword and Swords Dance itself. It was a bit of a filler Pokemon for him. He didn't really spend... This was a carefully crafted team, but he said it wasn't like his greatest achievement ever. He really just kind of threw on this AEGISLASH because it has immunity to fighting, which makes it a good switch for TYRANITAR, and in some cases for Greninja and Aron. But besides that, it was just there to mostly as a filler. He usually didn't even need to use anything in the back, or very many Pokemon in the back. The first three really give you such an advantage. It takes most of the games. So overall, what Randy says, Battle Mason is all about having control over the opponent, AI, and having them do what you want / expect them to do. Losing the advantage of Greninja's Map Block and Aron's Taunt, meaning, they're baiting into Aron, to the opponent can quickly spiral things out of control. So you want to make sure you stay in control. You want to make sure that they're going to focus on Aron and your Map Block's going to go up. General strategy, like I said a little earlier, Turn 1, Greninja Map Blocks, Aron uses Endeavor, Garchomp Swords Dances. Turn 2, Aron protects, and then, that still means the AI is going to go after Aron. And then Greninja and Garchomp attack, usually KOing all three opponent leads between, Surf and Earthquake itself. In alternate Turn 2, Greninja KOs a Pokemon with Grass Knot or Ice Beam because Surf's not going to take him out. Garchomp KOs a Pokemon with Dragon Claw. Aron uses Endeavor to drop the third Pokemon at 12 HP. They'll probably hit you. You'll go back up with Berry Juice. Not a big deal. Both of these options leave you at a 6-4 or 6-3 lead with a powered up Garchomp on the field. And like he said earlier, any Pokemon, when they have to send out new Pokemon, they get sent out on the right. So it straight up just, faces your Garchomp. Very difficult for the AI to mount a comeback at this point, even with hacks. So I'm going to cover some threats to your main leads, just so, this is a quick overview. You can always feel free. I have a link to the article later if you want to look at it more in depth. But I just wanted to, if you guys want to just get going with something and get a lot of battle points, this is definitely the way to do it. So threats to Greninja, it's going to be a bad day if you are unexpectedly KO'd without getting Map Block up. That's what you got to focus on. If you are unexpectedly KO'd, you can plan around being KO'd, but if you are surprise KO'd and you don't get Map Block up, then you lose your sash. Aron probably gets hit down. Bad stuff like that will happen. So some Pokemon that are faster than Greninja and can KO it. This is what you want to memorize. This Jolteon, Electrode, and Excelgor are all faster and one-shot Greninja. Also Choice Scarf, Manectric, Darmanitan, Terrakion, and Pinsir, and also Choice Banded Aerodactyl. So be on the lookout for all those in a spot where they can go after Greninja. Manectric will always hold a Choice Scarf unless used by a roller skater. Darmanitan will always hold a Choice Scarf unless used by a chef? Aerodactyl will always hold a Choice Band unless used by a roller skater, and Pinsir will always hold a Choice Scarf. So literally after playing 1,850 matches, he had enough time to amount, data and seeing like, okay, so every time a Minecraft comes out, it's Choice Scarf unless used by Roller Skater. So he's got a lot of these calculations on an article. I linked the article at the end. You can see it. You can go. Like, if you are seriously going to play the team, might as well look him over, memorize him, because he does have a lot of good information from having played the team 1,800 times. Also, you got to be aware of Quick Claw users, especially Leafeon and Ursaring. Both can one-shot Greninja, so just be careful and you plan for the worst. Threats to ARON. Priority users, there are many of these, but the most common ones past battle 40 are the following. So just look at those. Anything in that first dot will have a priority move. Otherwise, Sucker Punch will it'll only come off if you attack, and Fake Out will only be on the first turn. You still don't be afraid to still use Map Block if the opponent has one priority user on their side of the field. It's better to let ARON take the hit and preserve Greninja and Garchomp's health, and let Garchomp get the Sword Stance up. So don't be afraid to let ARON take a hit. It's got literally 3 lives on it, so long as Mold Breaker doesn't come out and destroy you, or Hail. More threats. Mold Breaker, like I just said, this is an announced ability, so be sure to take that thing out first. Make sure ARON doesn't die in one shot. And also Swagger. Swagger can always be a pain. Mandibuzz and Absol are regular offenders of the strategy, so if you see those two, beware of Swagger coming your way. Threats to Garchomp. Look at those fast ice types: Froslass, Cryogonal, Weavile, Starmie. If placed on the far right, switch out immediately to T-Tar. You don't want to deal with that. Togekiss, you literally can't hit it. Intimidate, so too many Intimidators, and it's better to just switch out instead of trying to combat it with Swords Dance. You don't want to just sit in there and take Intimidate after Intimidate. And also Bastiodon, who uses Wide Guard frequently, so you're not going to want to Dragon Claw it. You'd only want to kill it with an Earthquake, and if it's using Wide Guard, you're not really going to be able to do that. So those are some threats to Garchomp. In the end, after 1,800 battles, a few changes Randy made to the team. He actually got the Timid Nature for Greninja, which was obviously a better play. Sleep Talk went to Swagger on ARON. I don't know how often he actually had to use that, but he said more often than Sleep Talk ever had to. He did go into one situation where he clicked Sleep Talk, but he woke up on the first turn anyway, so it didn't work out for him. And Tyranitar's Iron Tail, which was terrible, moves to Aerial Ace because it can hit all the way across the field. So just in case, Tyranitar's on the far left, you can at least do something to the far right. Like I said, his article has a decent amount more of information on like different Pokemon held by different guys and what they'll use. Like Victory Bell will always use Solar Beam, like stuff like that. So check it out right there. I'll put it in the description if I remember. If I don't, someone just call me out on it and then I'll go put it down. I usually schedule these a couple days ahead of time, so if I forget, my bad. If you do call me out, I will just go fix it. Also, like I said, covers a lot more situations and scenarios. This was just pretty much the bare bones. I want to give you guys an idea. If you need battle points right now, go build the team. I'm sure it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm sure it can just be, in the right general vicinity, and it'll probably work really well for you. Otherwise, good luck, guys. Everyone needs those battle points for those, life orb, ability capsules. So this is the way to get them. This is what I'd recommend. Randy's really skilled at what he does. He's also just a really skilled VGC player in general. So thanks, Randy, for your stuff, and thank you for posting on Nugget Bridge, and Nugget Bridge for hosting all your information. And thank you guys for listening to me one more time, because I know I'm pretty damn annoying. So guys, I'll see you tomorrow with whatever I post tomorrow, but it'll probably be a fight for first episode. And don't forget to give me a shout out in the comments or tell me I suck, whatever. I'll read it, and if it needs responding to, I'll do my best to respond to it. Thanks, guys, and see you next time.